This is the Simulation Football League here on the Virtual Football Network. Welcome to the Pacific Northwest for this Week 5 clash between the Houston Headhunters and the Washington Trident. My times have changed here in Washington. The Trident off to one of their best starts in franchise history. You have to go all the way back to the St. Louis Gladiator days back in season 16 for a hot streak for a season that started off this hot. Brett Solberg, as Houston look, he's going to have to live up to the billing here tonight to face Houston, to face Washington.
Sorry, I was a little bit mesmerized by the giant Poseidon that's lurking at us outside the stadium right now. But nonetheless, we got ourselves a barn burner here, talking about a Washington squad that has defied all expectations to start off the season, starting off 3-0, and Houston putting themselves on the map after a huge win over defending champion Mexico City. And now these two teams clashing heads against each other. Washington looked to keep that undefeated streak alive. Houston looking to maintain potentially, a stranglehold on the South Division coming up here.
Washington given a 4.5 point margin of victory, says our friends over at Jack's Data here for this Week 5 contest. As here we go. Houston in their traditional whites and golds. Washington in their red and silver as we are set to go here in Washington from Mount Olympus. Opening kickoff goes down the backfield for a touchback. So here on the 20-yard line is John Lakeman, former Predator. Now doing a pretty good job of throwing the pigskin around here for H-Town as he flips it out here on the first play from scrimmage. That gains 1. And let's introduce you to the Headhunter offense. DR Sim, the wide receiver halfback convert, joins Josh Slapp in the backfield with Taranio Rivera and J.W. Doyle at fullback. C.J. Parrish, Mike St. Green, and Greg Corky are the wideouts with Daisy Peace at tight end. D'Angelo DeJesus, Scott Calvin, Britt Gorski, Sarah Bergens, Candy Cook, and Barry Simeon are all in the line. 6 contracted linemen here, Brett. How are they going to fit everybody in there here on second down? Run up the middle for Slap. He gains maybe 3.
And the big key for Houston has to be that they need to score like they have so far in this season. They're coming in 7th best in the league this week in points, 23.3 points, facing a Washington team that has only allowed 12.3, which is good for 2nd in the league.
Empty backfield, 4-man rush for Washington. Pass middle. Oh, looking for St. Green, who can't haul it in. Lakeman was under all kinds of duress.
Yeah, and one of the big pluses coming out of Washington's 3-0 start has been their ability to defend the football. Not so much in the pass game, but they can turn that ball over. 8 takeaways through the first 3 games, 7 different people with interceptions.
That punt is away. A quick 3-and-out forced by this Trident defense as they will get the ball at midfield after the return from Koss. And out comes Tommy Utah. He's been efficient. He has been dynamic. A far change of pace and a welcome change of pace, if I do say so myself, from the former Louisiana Revolution man.
Yeah, and Utah's coming in to a Washington team that wants to find stability in that quarterback position. So far, he's got that stability so far. I would like to see him throw more often as he's averaging less than 20 attempts per game, but it's resulting in wins so far.
They start with a pass looking for Koss, and it falls out of his hands, who is hit as he tried to haul it in. And let's introduce you to the rest of the Trident offense. Shane Kaufman and Christopher Dean are the halfbacks with Julian Gusters at fullback. King Alexander, Johan Sutherland, Terrell Cooper, and Phil Koss are the wideouts with Azami Mihata at tight end. Charles Michael, Dakota Butts, Robert Thump, Scott Pancake, Bill McMillan, and Phil McMillan on the line. So again, 2 teams with 6 contracted offensive linemen. When we started putting offensive linemen to start getting contract, we saw, maybe a couple, then a couple of full lines, and now we got backup offensive linemen here, Brett, as Utah looking deep, finding a man on the run inside the 20, and out of the tackle, a long touchdown for Washington. Johan Sutherland strikes first.
That's Washington basically showing Houston how it's done. A team that is 4th in passing yards per game in Houston has just been shown up by Washington. A team that is only getting less than 200 yards per game. 2nd play out there, Utah slings that baby to an open Johan Sutherland. breaks off a tackle and uses his blazing speed to get to the end zone. Not even 2 minutes old, Tyler. Washington strikes first.
In his 4th season here in the SFL, that's Sutherland's 2nd touchdown of his career. It goes for 50 yards. His first touchdown of the season. And Washington are a happy bunch here in the Pacific Northwest to begin today.
Just his 4th reception as well. Hasn't had a lot of touches through the first 3 games. And how about getting your first reception of the game being a 50-yard touchdown?
Absolutely brilliant stuff for Washington to begin the game here. And now, how about Houston? And with that ball going far out of the back of the end zone there, Brett, we know that Utah had to put a little touch on it. Maybe Poseidon, using his sea salty air, maybe had something to maybe float that ball just enough for Sutherland.
Ooh, that dude scares me already, and he's holding like a 20-foot football in the sky too. Like how much more are we going to see of Poseidon here tonight?
We'll see what happens here. Houston now on the attack. They're going to float it near side, incomplete. Looking for St. Green. Flag on the play.
Don't tell me.
John DeSantis in coverage, and they're going to tag him with pass interference.
You know, Tyler, I want to see the replay on this one because initially it didn't look like there was any contact whatsoever. And it looked maybe a bit of impediment, but it didn't look like it was in the direction of the trajectory of the football. So, again, we talk about ticky-tack plays. You know, the SFL is going to have those, especially when it comes to the DPIs. So, you know, Houston, take this one. You better take advantage of it, though.
Delayed handoff through the middle. Slap off the football and then try to take over. Oh my goodness, establishing their possession and establishing their mark on the game early.
Here's one thing that they haven't had yet: forced fumbles, where a lot of team, you know, has had success in stripping the ball away. That's the first forced fumble, and that looked to be, oh, that's a great tackle from the side, and that's not even talking about popping the ball loose with a fist or anything like that. That is just meat on meat action, shoulder to shoulder, forcing the ball out, and once again, Washington threatening, and we're, again, not even 2 minutes old.
They struck from 50 yards just a few plays ago. Like they try and strike one here from 41. Handoff is a pretty decent run. Left-hand side for Christopher Dean. And let's introduce you to the Houston defense trying to stop that potent rushing attack. Matt Dre, Chris Joseph, Anthony Stover, and Zach Turner are the defensive linemen, with Garrett Evans, Chris Britton III, Blake B. Craze, and Jason Peace at linebacker. Dustin Sokowski, John Bonhart, and Kai Cash are the corners, with Al Ingram III, Blake Prime at safety alongside Guy Incognito. That run from Kaufman gets it to 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and one of the things head coach and GM Robert Thump wants to establish on this Washington offense is having a balanced kind of style with that attack, and they definitely want to get that run game going after the pass play worked after just one time.
3rd and 1, they try and run with Dean, and he gets it to the 27-yard line. First down, Washington.
And what we've seen so far with the Washington Trident, at least with sharing the rock in terms of the run game, it's been pretty even. Kaufman coming into this game, 46 carries. Chris Dean at 44. Utah has a couple scrambles himself.
Gusters in motion out of his fullback spot. Utah looking near side. Ooh, hit hard was Terrell Cooper as he tried to haul that in.
Yeah, one of the big key moments now that you have to look at from the Houston side is where their safeties are going to be. Guy Incognito is a guy that is all over the place that you've got to worry about from any side of the field. He wasn't involved in that play, but you always got to worry about where he is because he's already got 2 forced fumbles to his name.
And oh, what a spin move. A brilliant move to get extra yards. I can watch that on repeat over and over again.
And you might have to correct me, Tyler, or if Thump is in the chat, he'll have to correct me there. But I believe Christine was a former fullback. So seeing that enhanced agility over the last couple seasons from Christine has made him an effective halfback just through these first 3 games.
It does sound familiar as Utah having to roll, having to fire. Oh, he tried to hit his man over the middle, Azami Mihara. But this time the defense and the coverage from Gaia Incognito was just too strong.
And again, you look at where the safeties are, and you had Blake Prine in the vicinity as well. He was the front coverage, where our Incognito was the deep lying safety, and basically just in the right place. Didn't have to move all that much, and just had to worry about hitting Mahada, whereas Prine was looking for the ball. So great defensive play from Houston, and a great job to only allow a potential field goal from Washington.
On it. Try and hit this 39-yard attempt is James Troll. He's a perfect 8 for 8 on the season. 106 of 118 on his career. And now he'll tack home number 9 on the season. It's up and good. And Washington have a 10-0 advantage here, Brett. And a lot of people, especially over the course of the pundits and coaches and others that take part in the Jack's data polls, some people think Washington's right there at the top. Others aren't so keen. But right now they're showing up when it matters most.
Well, yeah, and this week, if you look at the power rankings, this is one of the first weeks where pundits were most divided on who was just number 1 alone. You had Washington with 3 first-place votes, and up top, Vancouver only had 5. So there's still quite a few decisions on who on number 1 is going to be. But after what we've seen over the first 8 games or so from this week, there might be some different thoughts now.
This week 5 of the SFL we've had a lot of here and there, some blowouts, some blanks, and some great passing allows Houston to connect with Greg Corky for a big first down.
And here's what Houston needs to do. They've been doing really well over the course of the first 4 games in really sharing the rock in terms of passing options. And you've got 3 fantastic threats out there in the wide receiver spot in CJ Parrish, Mike St. Green, and the just most recent receiver, Greg Corky.
Second completion of the game for Lakeman. Now the quarters trying to maybe play a little bit tighter, expecting something short, and indeed Houston try and run, and Washington is all over DR Sim.
Yeah, and the bread and butter so far in terms of Washington's success has been the run defense. We're talking about 5th in the league right now. Coming into this game, 76 yards allowed, and this is a big test for this Houston offense, which has kind of run roughshod in the run game.
Another run, slap. Good little run up to about the 45-yard line, 3rd and 3. Let's introduce you to the Trident defense real quick. Rodney Panani, King McNeely, Doug Howard, and Tina McGinn at defensive line. Nathaniel Diggs, TJ Harper, Nicholas Warner, and Kappa Jones at linebacker. Mark Kaufman, Ryan Cook, John DeSantis, and Maxwell Quimby at corner. And Albert Begin and Willie Bands round out the lineup at safety. From the 45-yard line, they have to get to their own 48 for a first down. It would be the first 3rd down conversion here of the young game here for Houston.
This is a designed run up the gut here.
Indeed it is. Run by DR Sim. He's one of the league's best, if not the league's best, in terms of receiving in his career. And his offseason switching to tailback, and this is why. He's got that speed.
Yeah, and you've got that heavy set from Houston, and they love to run up the gut with one of their running backs. It doesn't matter what side of the ball that they go to. They love running up the gut with that heavy set. If they can get themselves, 7, including the tight ends on that line, it just helps them with that run.
3 wide, I formation. They'll run again, trying to bounce it right. Slap, gets gang tackled after a gain of 6. 2nd down.
Another thing that Houston's done well is their variety of runs as well. They don't just stick to one side of the field or one type of style of run as well. They go with stretch runs, they go with toss plays, they go with draws. They keep the defenses guessing.
Here comes another run. This will lose 2 by DR Sim, tackled by Nathaniel Diggs.
Yeah, and this was Washington packing that line, knowing that there was more of a heavy set happening from Houston. They're seeing more linemen and tight ends involved. You got to get those linebackers in, and Diggs coming in with a good tackle.
Looking near side. Oh, nearly fit it in to Corky, but Washington's there. Mark Coffin with the deflection, and that brings up another punting situation for H-Town.
Yeah, no fault of John Lakeman's, because I think that was a picture-perfect throw in the first place. And that looked to be the daisy piece, player that he hasn't really fed the ball to so much. He's only got 5 receptions so far in this season. So it was a good look. It was just great timing from Washington to jar that ball loose after the catch.
Fair catch called for at the 21-yard line by Koss. That is where Washington will take over here for the next possession. 2 drives, 2 scores here, Brett. Pretty good sign of momentum here for Washington.
That Poseidon just keeps staring darts at me. I feel like those blue eyes are just gonna like devour me or something. Jeez. I'm sorry I keep mentioning Poseidon, but he's there almost like every 10 seconds.
It's either that or he's gonna fire off some lasers at this point. Get some pyrotechnics in here as they try and go on the ground here with Dean. He gains 3.
Yeah, and again, Washington now with this comfortable lead, this is what they like to do. They kind of lull their opponent to sleep. They get that run game involved. Lots of touches to Kaufman and Dean coming up through this rest of at least this quarter and the second quarter as well.
Run through the middle out of 1 tackle and nearly sprang free was Kaufman. He gets taken down after a short pickup there, and now here comes 3rd down, something that Washington has done pretty well here so far here tonight.
It's a manageable 3rd down. It's only 4 yards to go.
4-man rush. Utah with plenty of time. How easy is that when you have all the time in the world? Terrell Cooper, 1st down.
I think Houston is a little bit more weary of the deeper pass. So you see those safeties lying back so far. They must have been 20 yards deep. And that was just, it must have been a missed assignment by one of the linebackers on Terrell Cooper. Maybe a little bit of a soft zone, but it was too soft, and they left Cooper open for a huge gain.
1 minute man, thank you for the $5 super chat. Flows in here on the end of this first quarter. Ron Dean, good blocking, and he's eventually showing us a little bit of tough love, shoulder to the turf by Blake Prine.
And Utah wants those fast handoffs because they know if they can get to that running back right away, they will get major yards. Dean and Kaufman both have the capability, the strength, and the speed to get 6+ yards per carry.
The run, Kaufman trying to push the pile, and for one of the very rare times we see that there, Brett, it works. 1st down, Washington.
Yeah, and it's all about the strength of your offensive lineman to keep pushing forward. Yes, the running back does help, albeit not that much. It's all about that lineman, and the offensive linemen have done really well in this first quarter for the Trident.
Oh, Utah nearly ran into a pit, into a sack, yet he runs around and finds Dean on the comebacker, 8-yard pickup.
And my big question is, how did Mac Dre not get the sack? He was literally breathing down the neck of Tommy Utah, and Utah had the patience of a nun just to keep his patience, find his man, get 8 yards.
Couldn't put it better myself. Here's a run, Coffin this time knocked backwards and then some. Excellent push through the middle by Chris Britton III.
And that was the response that Houston needed after a play where they should have gotten a sack but didn't. And now Washington, another 3rd and 4 opportunity. Houston looking for a big stop again to force a field goal now.
High formation would really do anything. Washington's been okay doing passing and rushing, and they're going to try and flip it. Great head up in the air. Blake Prine denies the 1st down.
And a rumor told me that Blake Prine plays his best football during prime time. I'm not sure, in Houston during this time, if we're past prime time or not, if we're getting to the late evening slot in terms of the TV deal. I don't know if people care about TV slots anymore since we're in the Netflix era, it feels like, but nonetheless, great deflection.
James Troll hits his longest field goal of the season from 50 yards out. And Washington extend their lead to 13.
And if I'm not mistaken, Tyler, cha-ching!
A good one. I think it did a little bit of Oh, here comes the money. Here comes the money. He's getting a little bit of bonus there. Great job from Troll, and good job for Washington to make it 3 drives, 3 scores. We are back underway. And again, another kick sails out of the back of the end zone. Houston will start again from their own 20.
I got to start asking how this wind is blowing, or in this case, is this stadium in the ocean and there's a tsunami warning heading, because that's where the heavy winds come from.
42 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Handoff here for Slap. He's only 2 in this middle of the field. There's Warner in on the stop, and that's what you got to be aware of. Washington is going to try and just stop this middle of the rushing attack. They know what Houston likes to do.
Now they're going empty backfield. This is a response to that, I think.
There's a pass looking middle. It hits off the helmet of the defender. Wow, that was nearly picked.
Again, looking for Daisy Peace, but Daisy's a big target. I believe she's 6'6", so you've got to aim that a little bit higher if I'm John Lakeman.
Four wide now here for Houston. Play action. Rolling is Lakeman. He gets rid of it, and it's caught. Wow. Great job from Lakeman to find Corky before the end of the quarter.
A little bit of turnout is fair play if I'm thinking of Houston here. That's another sack, but this time Washington should have had it again. Breathing down the neck, and Lakeman says, hey, if you've got that patience of a nun, I've got it too. Let's sling it deep.
That'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. Washington 13, Houston nothing. And we're going to pause here for just a moment. This is something we don't very rarely do, and we've only had to do it 5 times here. But for the first, it's with a heavy heart. The Carolina Skyhawks will announce, make an announcement. It is with a heavy heart that we announce the passing of our beloved teammate, friend, and brother, Ibari Amen England. You'll be missed, 29. Rest easy. In memory of Ertis Ibari Amen. That was his real name. So number 29, hashtag BNG forever. As a teammate of Ibari, he was always well loved and well liked and enjoyed by friend and foe, by teammate and opponent. Just hearing the outpouring of support, even from ownership from Charleston, Jacob Clear, also in support, just offering his condolences. This is something we don't often do. How many great people we have in this league, how many great people we have on your teammates, in your locker rooms as part of your staff. Today is a somber reminder to just take that extra time to get to know your teammates just a little bit more. So Ibari will be sorely missed as a member of the Skyhawks. The entirety of the Skyhawk team will be supporting this logo you see here on screen as their avatar, if they wish to do so. If you would love to post your support in chat or in our Discord server, you can find the link to that in at simfl.net. There'll be a link to the Discord server there. But again, the announcement is with a heavy heart, we announce the passing of our beloved teammate, friend, and brother, Ibari Amen England. You will be missed, 29. Rest easy. Passing play underneath here as we begin out of the quarter break. That is caught by Corky for a gain of 4.
And quickly, let's head back to this game here. Houston, already with a 13-point disadvantage, hasn't had much in terms of you know, scoring right now. The production has been there, but they haven't resorted to getting any points yet.
2nd and 6 will be a run here from Slap through the right-hand side, and Slap will roll for a first down, though already members of Washington are protesting the ball did not cross that imaginary golden line.
And it's so tough seeing it from the sidelines, trying to find where that marker is. He rolled his way forward, which is definitely necessary. Thump is keeping the challenge flag in his socks, so we're going to get a 1st and 10 here, Tyler.
Caught Lakeman, great pass again. He is finding Corky early and often here today, and maybe this is the spark that gets them back in this game.
And this is what we saw a lot, you know, later down in the game against Mexico City, where they eventually won by 3, was the quicker passes down the field. They're trying to catch the corners, especially those offside corners. They're trying to get them off guard with those quick passes so that they're not ready to even, you know, get a touch on the player, let alone the football.
Oh, Lakeman, somehow found St. Green over the middle. He's tapped down after a gain of 3. My goodness, Washington are giving no room for error for John Lakeman. They are sending so much pressure his way.
But still, Lakeman staying composed in that pocket, even if it's collapsing right away. Washington, like you said, bringing the heat, but he's staying composed and he's finding his targets.
Run right side for Slap here on 2nd down, and it gains a good chunk of yards. Be 3rd and short upcoming here for Houston, deep in Washington territory.
And I think every coach's favorite 2 words when it comes down to this point in the game is open playbook. They have that for 3rd and 2.
DR Sim, he's met up early, going nowhere. Excellent stop by Diggs.
And Diggs has already been involved in this game a lot through this first half. I wouldn't be too surprised if he's looking at double-digit tackles at the end of the game because he's been all over the place.
Here comes the field goal attempt to try and put a crooked number on the scoreboard, and they do. Good kick from Sonny J after an over 3-minute drive. And now they've cracked a little bit tighter into the lead. It's now 13-3. The 2025 SFL convention kicks off the league's 25th anniversary season, July 10th through the 14th. Join SFL Nation at the rooftop pool of our host hotel, the Hyatt Regency, looking out into Baltimore's Inner Harbor. You can reserve your room now at the special group rate at simfl.net. And this time it's Houston's turn to bang that one through the back of the end zone, and so Washington will have a taste of their own medicine and start this next drive on their own 20.
I think that one hit the right side of the upright there, Tyler. That's killer accuracy from Sonny J.
I was going to say, I mean, we got to start giving points to these kickers for kicking it through the upright at a kickoff. What do you say, an extra point?
The CFL has a rouge. We can make that, you know, the SFL equivalent.
Ooh, I like that. There you go. First down, Utah looking near side. Caught. Only 1 defender per 2 wide receivers. That's a mismatch King Alexander is going to exploit all night tonight.
And Houston brought the heat over on Utah's left side. You can see the pursuit coming. And composure with both these quarterbacks have been fantastic through this first half, finding open targets. And like you said, 2 receivers versus 1 defender. There's going to be an eventual outcome from that.
Brand new set of downs here for Washington on their own 32-yard line. 2 wide receivers right with seemingly no coverage out there besides 1 again, but this time they run up the middle and Houston guessed right.
Yeah, and this is what Houston needs to do. They need to basically force Washington into a passing scenario. Utah hasn't thrown the ball all that much so far this season, 58 attempts. He is 4 of 8 so far, so there is that 50-50 chance.
Split backfield, blitz coming. Utah looking right side, bobbled. Ooh, we had 2 defenders crashing down. Almost had the pick. Ball's incomplete.
What's interesting is that Kai Catch was looking to reach for the ball, and he was further out than Incognito, who didn't even try. Maybe he was looking to, play keepy ups with it like it's American, or sorry, if it's European football out there, but wrong sport there, buddy.
Oh, just European? I mean, it's football known to pretty much the rest of the world. We're just the odd ones here in the States that call hand egg football. As Utah with loads of room through the middle and excellent awareness from Tommy Utah to pick up the first down.
Yeah, it's just about the wherewithal of where the defenders are so that you can make that move, because you had Blake B. Craze, in pursuit on your blind side, and even just looking over your shoulder, you see a big hulk of a man coming after you. You kind of want to run away from him just, out of instinct. So great work from Utah to get open, get that first down.
Run from Dean. He is gobbled up at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
And again, Houston doing well on this first down, and they need to repeat it for second down, force Utah to throw on 3rd and long. That is the goal that Houston needs to make here.
Motion here from Washington as Sutherland goes in motion. Handoff, Dean on the misdirect, and he tries to shake and bake his way for extra yards. He'll get about 5. That brings up 3rd down.
Here's something we don't see all too often in offensive playbooks, Tyler. We don't see a lot of misdirection plays. We see draw plays, pass fakes that turn into runs or dump passes, but the misdirect, it's a rare sight.
Run on 3rd down, nothing doing. This Houston defense clamps down on the run on 3rd down, and the Trident will have to punt.
Yeah, that's the MO of the Houston defense, is that they don't necessarily bend but don't break, but they try to test to see what Washington does on their drives, and then they start to eventually figure things out. We're starting to see that with the Houston defense now.
Utrecht Rugen punts this one away, his first punt of the game, and it's called for a fair catch by Mike St. Green, and that is where Houston will take over.
And this is a big moment for Houston. If they want to get back into this game, I think a touchdown needs to be the end result of this upcoming drive.
Offset single back here behind Lakeman. Coverage now creeping up there on the far sideline. Late handoff, run through the middle, slap goes nowhere. Again, another good hit by the linebacker, Nathaniel Diggs. He's got a couple now. Make it 5 total tackles for him tonight.
And it seems like Diggs is just shadowing wherever the running back goes, trying to see where that opening of the gap from the offensive line takes him. And he's been guessing right every time.
Bunch left side, they'll run again with Slap, and he's gonna go no further again. Just a yard maybe at best. Great pursuit by TJ Harper, the other outside linebacker.
Yeah, and what these Washington linebackers have done well so far in this game, especially over the last couple of drives that Houston has had, is that they've limited that run game, and they're forcing, another 3rd and long scenario where Lakeman has to throw.
He'll try and go left side, caught, having to make up room as Corky's denied just a yard shy. He had the speed, but was corralled nicely by Quimby.
And it was a good attempt. They were looking for that catch and run. You had 2 receivers in the vicinity, and interestingly enough, those 2 Washington defenders got stuck on 1 receiver, which left Corky open, but not enough space on that sideline to turn and really power through to get that first down.
On his way. Now here by Sonny J. Another fair catch called for a booming punt from Jay, and that's hauled in by Koss at his own 27-yard line. Here comes Washington having to punt it away, only have a 10-point lead now. This Washington defense snuffed out their rushing attack. Do you switch right to the pass here on this possession here, Brett?
Well, with this split back formation, it's going to be a handoff to Dean, so they're not shying away from the run.
Mr. Nostradamus here with some play calling picks as Dean does get the call, getting 5 yards. All right, Brett, what do you do here now? What's the play call here?
I only said that because every split back formation they've done has been a Chris Dean run. So right now, 2nd and 5, I wouldn't be too surprised if it's a run for Kaufman. But again, it looks like they're going split backs again. This time a heavy set. They could go either or.
Guster's out there, and indeed is it a run from Kaufman. He picks up 7. All right, I'll just shut up now, Brett. You be the OC here. Keep calling plays.
Oh, finally, Tyler out of the booth here. I could call this game by myself. No, I'm kidding. But nonetheless, again, Washington, this is what they like to do. They want to run that football down and then pepper in a pass every now and again. And it's working to dividends because they've got the lead at home right now, and they're shedding a ton of clock, giving Houston little chance on their own possessions.
There's Dean on the give through the middle, and this time it goes for maybe a yard. Taken down by Garrett Evans. 2nd and 9.
Yeah, and this might be the pass play that we're gonna come up and see, just because now they've got that unsuccessful run.
Had Mihata out to the right bottle and pick back the other way. Jason Peace with 2 men on his tail, and he's eventually taken down by Utah. We were talking at the beginning of the game, partner. If Utah could be efficient, he'd be fine, but that pick just put Houston in the driver's seat for a touchdown.
Now get this, Tyler, only the 2nd turnover of the season from Washington, 2nd pick from Tommy Utah. He has stayed clean relatively all season, but again, I talk about, the predictability of Washington's plays. Like I was just calling the last 3 plays that we saw from Washington, got the pass off, and Jason Peace, who has been a menace to society through the first quarter of the season, does it again.
5th interception by Peace at the linebacker spot. That leads all defenders in interceptions. Incredible from Peace. Here comes Lakeman trying to pass it to the end zone. Touchdown, Greg Corky. Just like that, they get some points on the board and get points off the turnover.
And I talked about how Washington wants to dry up that clock and give Houston no chance. Well, Houston just countered and said, you know what? We can do this in 1 play in about 4 seconds. We'll give it to our main man, Greg Corky, to get himself another touchdown to his illustrious career. Give that Mr. Corky number 83 for his career.
And leading the team, he was 2nd in touchdowns in the receiving category coming into the game. Now he's got number 4 on the season. And there's only a 3-point difference between these two clubs. It was 13-0 coming into this 2nd quarter. It's been a tale of 2 quarters. Washington in the 1st quarter, Houston in the 2nd.
And not to jinx things and knocking on one or anything, but Tyler, what did we witness last week? We saw 24 unanswered points from Queen City to beat Albuquerque.
Oh, say that one more time, Brett. Oh, Utah with a pass, looking right side. Oh, nearly got right back on track. With a pass to Cooper, but incomplete.
Yeah, and it's looking like now Washington is kind of a little, not up in arms, but their hairs are raised a little bit more now that the lead is only to 3 points. So going with a pass play on 1st down, a little bit unorthodox from the Washington playbook.
Look to pass. Blitz coming here from Houston. Pass middle. Bobbled again. Peace again with a deflection.
Man, and Jason Peace, he's got to be, we didn't talk much about him in the 1st quarter, but man, that 2nd quarter has been big, not only for the defense, but the linebacking core has just stepped up entirely, and Jason Peace, again, is leading the way.
And you talk about player archetypes in a way. Peace is definitely more that hybrid. He could probably play slot corner at some point. Said he's going to blitz this time. Utah rolling, firing middle because Peace wasn't in the middle. Utah finds Sutherland for his 5th reception of his career.
And Utah's got to be counting his blessings because the offensive line gave him just enough time, because once again, a pursuing defender on his blind side almost got the sack on him.
That takes us to the 2-minute warning here in this 1st half. 3 points between Houston and H-Town. Still plenty of football after play. 2 to play here in the first half. Utah going to flip it out near side for Dean on the swing. And he gets about 5 yards before being taken down by Barnhart. And the clock will be left to roll. We see this quite often here in the coaching strategies. Take a lot of time off the clock. That way the other defensive team doesn't have a shot at getting the ball back here, Brett.
And then once you see Washington go into enemy territory, if they do, they're going to start calling their timeouts to preserve some time.
And off Kaufman. Nothing going there. Taken down by Evans at the line of scrimmage. That brings up third down. Just over a minute left to go here in the quarter.
Yeah, and this might be the pass play coming up on 3rd and 5. They definitely want to get some points out of this drive. They've got 2 capable receivers on the bottom, but I'm focusing on that top man.
Evans rolling and takes it off again. Utah. Another first down. He's done that twice here tonight. Second first down picked up by Talma. Utah to QB scramble.
Yeah, and they call their first timeout, making sure that they can preserve time. That took a lot of time off the clock. And right now, Washington looking to at least get 3 points so they can get themselves a 6-point lead going in their locker rooms. This is an empty set. They're looking to pass hard here. Look for the deep option.
Houston showing zone. As King Alexander goes to the slot near side. Blitz coming past. Caught. King Alexander shuffling through red jerseys and white jerseys alike for a good gain. And another first down for Washington.
And the big issue with blitzing on first down, especially on an empty set, is that the second level is going to be so wide open. So Utah making the smart pass, not going too deep, going for like an 8-9 yard pass, turns into about a 12-yarder.
Grips near side. Utah in trouble. Down he goes. Wow, what a massive hit by Mac Dre. He finally gets the sack he should have had maybe a few minutes ago.
Clean up on all Utah as Mac Dre just demolishes him, and that was a long time coming. This defensive line has been feasting and trying to get around the offensive line, had so many opportunities. They finally get one.
Sacked him so hard, he formed the second Salt Lake as Utah flips it near side. Koss, first catch of the season for Phil Koss. That picks up a chunk of yards.
And again, that was almost a back-to-back sack coming to Utah, and Utah said, I ain't gonna have that happen 2 plays in a row. Gets that off just enough to get it to Koss, who is an effective tight end, really good tight end, just doesn't get involved enough.
Deep backfield, another third down opportunity here for Washington. Just inside the range here for James Troll, though they do have to kick into the wind. Utah middle, caught! And he has come alive here tonight. That's Johan Sutherland. Now down to the 12-yard line. Utah rolling. Utah firing. Utah looking for Mihara, and he can't catch it.
No, I like that hurry up, though, with 5 receivers out. You had to have Houston basically stuck in their own kind of, formation too, to stick with them. And man, they are looking for blood after Houston got that 1-play score.
4 wide, 1 back in the backfield. Utah with a 4-man rush. Flip out right side. There's Mihara on a grab. He picks up a couple more yards. It brings up 3rd and 9. Back to the line they go.
Interesting, they're going hurry up here, but they got 3 receivers on the right.
20 seconds. Flip out right side. Mihara again. 3 yards short of the line to gain. 15 seconds. They have 1 timeout, but they're not going to use it. They're trying to get the kicking team on the field.
I wonder if they're going to call time with 3 seconds left. Are they going to have enough time to get Troll to get that snap off?
From 22 yards out, 2 seconds, 1 second, and they can't get it off. They squander 3 points with a timeout on the board, and it's 13-10 going into half.
And that might be overconfidence from the Washington coaching staff, thinking that they could pull that one off, but to no avail. It stays a 3-point game, and Damon Simeon yelling out there, good hold on the defense. And that is what Houston needed. That might be a momentum shift moving forward, because that second quarter, wild. Got to talk about wild here, Tyler. You think that, Washington, with how they were performing in that first quarter, Houston was going to have a tough time, but they found a way to claw back. It's only a 3-point game, having a lot of time possession on the ball, But you look at it again, they only have about a 40-second disadvantage, or sorry, a 2-minute and 40-second disadvantage compared to Washington. So what Houston needs to do, they need to take advantage of the time that they have so they can get back in this game and possibly take the lead.
Let's take a break. Presented by Brakes GPT. You're watching the SFL on VFL.
Just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
It's an Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
Break into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Brakes GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Brakes GPT offers you the shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on our Brakes GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner on our site, brakesgpt.com. As we come out of the quarter break, Haas hit hard. And an immediate flag here from the referee. They're going to call block in the back. And so that return's going to go for even less than it was, all the way back to their 12-yard line. How unfortunate. Though I got to say there, Brett, for the most lucrative commercial we've had here, it's the pink socks, man. Not Tom Brady or OJ.
Yeah.
It's the pink socks that do it for me.
Though they do look a little bit short. I wouldn't mind them being, at least thigh high.
Short? It's just big socks, man. It lives rent-free in my head.
I think they need to be thigh highs or at least knee highs. They need to be a little bit longer.
Maybe something with a graphic on it or something, but just straight pink.
Maybe if it just says Tom Brady on it or something.
Maybe we can do some video editing or something like that. Get that on there. Heavy blitz coming here against the Utah as he looks middle. Caught by Mihara. He getting hotter and hotter with each catch.
Nice pun. But hey, like you said, that's more so a heat check throw from Utah, because he was slinging that rock at the end of the second quarter and deep in his own territory. Got to find a way to get out of that, get yourself into more comfortable field position. Great throw from Utah.
It's 11-20. Now here in the ball game, just above 50% completion percentage. Houston now here on defense, showing a little bit of a zone look. Or the split back look here from Utah as he looks to pass again. Looking over the middle piece. Oh my goodness. Third attempt at a pick. He's come away with one already tonight.
Tyler, we might be on, milestone check, because Cameron Irvine told us earlier about the 4K23 record about interceptions in a season. That was season 22 in terms of linebackers. Alvin Mack had 6. Peace has 5 in the last 3 weeks.
Utah with a blitz coming, looking middle open, looking for a deflection. Couldn't find it. Excellent touch of the football from Utah to find Cooper. That'll move the chains, excuse me.
Yeah, and this time it was Chris Britton looking to get at least a hand on the football. But again, you talk about precise throws, getting it to only where your receiver can get it. Utah's done that a couple times in this game now.
Brand new set of downs here for Utah and company as they look to run with Kaufman, who tried to cut it back inside. Somehow stays upright for the longest time, but finally brought down by a bunch of white jerseys. Evans there leading the charge.
I was wondering how much longer that the running back was going to stay up and continue trying to push forward for no gain, but eventually he finally gets, wrapped around and thrown to the ground.
It almost seemed like they were just going to perform a cease and desist, surround, contain, and then finally go in. 4-man rush, Utah with plenty of time. And that pass, Koss! Off his hands, incomplete. Oh my goodness. I just wanted to look at the offensive line again. What a phenomenal job of keeping Utah upright.
Yeah, it didn't really have to move at all, and Utah had plenty of time. It was just unfortunate that not only Koss bumbling it off his hands, he overran the route too.
Houston coverage shifts to the inside here on 3rd and 10. Blitz coming from Peace. Utah looking middle again, and Mihata hauls it in. Every time they send Peace, someone gets open over the middle, and Washington converts.
In any empty set, the last person that the defense worries about is the tight end, and Mihata wide open. That pocket between the linebackers and the safeties was more open than the U.S. Open. I mean, you gave him so much space. It just forced Utah to throw it to the open target.
Another 5-man rush. Utah looking middle again. Koss spinning like around like a ballerina, but he couldn't haul it in.
Pirouette, it was not for Koss, and that resulted in the incompletion again. Utah finding it to his targets. It's just been, a bobble here and a bobble there. But right now, Washington still has the lead, and they have momentum.
Blitz coming. Utah couldn't see it coming. Right in front of them. Wow, what a sack from Houston.
And that was gang mentality from Houston. Prine is going to be credited with the sack, but you had 3 other defenders very close to getting in there, because I think not TJ Harper, Zach Turner, the defensive tackle, he was almost to Utah as well.
Second individual sack from Prime. Now oh my goodness, a pass left side, taking the words out of my mouth and making me breathless. A nice pitch and catch to move the sticks. Sutherland has come alive here tonight.
And that was a little bit of missed coverage completely. Seeing Sutherland, wide open, and I don't know what Ingram was thinking. I don't know if he was stuck on kind of a zone look where everyone else was on man, but man, Johan Sutherland was by himself, and as a result of that, over the century mark, I want to say that's the first of his career.
Utah going to look to pass here on 1st down, looking near side. Oh my goodness! Sikorsky nearly had it, and he dropped it.
Man, that was pick 6 written all over it, and Sokasi's hands just turns into a whole wrapper of coffee crisp candy bars.
How many second chances are Houston going to rue? Utah, middle, right there, touchdown, King Alexander. A dropped interception turns into a touchdown for the Trident.
What do they say about what ifs? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. At the end of the day, man, if Sokasi could have gotten that football and gotten that pick 6, Washington definitely wouldn't have to score off for that one. So Washington taking advantage. King Alexander gets the touchdown, and Washington looking to restore their 10-point lead.
King Alexander's first touchdown of the season, and the extra point is up and good. Washington regain a 10-point lead. All right, Brett, we've had a great game so far, so let's do a quick check. How many likes do we get on this video?
It's I don't really care the number. It's not enough.
Absolutely not enough, I say. So I say smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you've got notifications on so you won't miss a minute of SFL and SFLM action, and help the channel grow through your support. Just taking a look at the team stats there real quickly. Houston, half the amount of total yards than Washington.
Washington sending Houston a taste of their own medicine. We're talking about a team that averages 391 yards per game, getting outgunned and giving Washington nearly 330 yards.
Here's the pass. Oh, and that's a nice connection to Mike St. Green. Right out of the gate, they start firing, and that's a good chunk of yards.
And this might be something that they need to do, because the pass game has been super effective. Lakeman, 9 of 12. They haven't passed that football all that much. Granted, they haven't had the football as much as Washington has either. Washington doing a good job with the time possession battle, so Houston, once again, needs to take advantage when they have their possession.
5 wide again. Lakeman going to be asked to throw again.
St. Green's on the top. There's close coverage. I'd be looking for him.
Looking middle, looking for slap and incomplete. Trying to use the tailback as a traditional receiver, nearly worked. But great coverage from Washington denies the pass.
Yeah, and Washington doing a good job covering everyone, even St. Green on the top. I was hyper-focused on him. He looked to go with a little bit of a fade or a go on that right side, and he was well covered. So good job from Washington to prevent a pass completion.
You're wide here for Houston here on second down. Still plenty of time. Don't have to completely abandon the run game. Daisy Peace goes in motion to the near side. Pass coming. Lakeman right side. That's caught by Corky. Had to catch it quick before getting hit.
Yeah, and the short passes work, especially in a game situation where you're down 10. And man, it's been tough to see those passes as well because Washington has, gets that tackle right away. I'm very surprised Corky didn't bobble that ball.
Lakeman 10 of 14 now. He's back to pass again, looking near side. That's caught for first down yardage. CJ Parrish's first catch of the game.
And man, that's a guy that you need to get targets to as well. Parrish had one heck of a game, I want to say either last week or the week before, and he's become an effective target with 11 receptions coming in. You've got to feed that man the ball too.
Halfway through this third quarter, bunch set to Lakeman's right. Now inside Washington territory, handoff slap right side, and he gets out of a tackle. Still going a slap and shoving a defender with him to inside the 35.
That is the longest run of the game between anyone at this point. Minus King Alexander did have a carry for 16 yards, but Slap finally getting a breakthrough run play, beating that second, almost getting past the third level for 15 yards.
Good little run, and a special shout out to Eddie Gage and Josh Dewar in the stats truck keeping us up tonight all game long. Thank you, gentlemen. Hand off. So we're the near side. DR Sim rolling with the defender for 5.
And this is the kind of plays that you want on first down if you're going to go for a run. 5, 6, 7, 8-yard runs. Establish a second and short.
It almost seemed like the beginning of the drive, Brett. Houston were panicking. They were like, all right, we got to pass now. Now they're a bit more comfortable mixing things up. Trying another run here with Slap. He picks up a yard.
You know what helps with that, Tyler? Being in enemy territory. Once they got into the flip side of the field, that's when they started to, notice that, hey, we don't need to, get this drive done in a minute because Washington has been dominating this football. Let's give them time to get cold on the sideline.
3rd and 4. Here for the headhunters. Lakeman looking right side, and it's off the hands of our intended target. That's Corky. Incomplete. I don't know if I'm John Lakeman. I'm right there with Cook. Little slap on the backside saying, it was a good throw. You just couldn't haul it in.
I would say I would do you one better, Tyler. That was a great throw. But again, it's another missed opportunity, this time from the receiver. He just had to just secure the ball, get that ball down in his hands, and it just didn't work out.
That field goal is up and good. Brings it back to within a score. Good kick from Sonny J. Score is now 20-13. Thursdays are for the SFLM. Season 10 is underway and resumes this Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern with Boston and New York. In the nightcap, Philadelphia faces San Jose. See the stars of tomorrow right here on the Virtual Football Network. And Houston will kick this off here to begin another return here, this time for Washington. It's Sutherland on the return. He's blown up at the 27-yard line. That's where the Trident will take over with this lead, with an opportunity to make Houston pay for not taking full advantage of some opportunities.
And if I'm Houston, I'm thinking to myself, get an immediate stop. Don't have Washington shed as much clock because right now they've had possession of the football for the majority of this third quarter.
Handoff through the middle. Dean was grabbed down at the 4-yard line. And right now, as the scoreline stands for Washington, this could be their first win against the Houston franchise in this matchup history. They played 4 times. Houston's won all 4 of them.
Yeah, right now, this is kind of what Washington needs as well. It's a monkey off the back moment too.
Kaufman with the give, left side pieces there, and it's because of talented players like Peace that Houston's been able to maintain their dominance over the Washington franchise.
Yeah, you look at even last matchups between these guys, season 20, week 11, Houston beating the then Motor City V8s 52-24.
Pass middle, Koss hauls it in the nick of time, first down.
And right now, Washington is more than content with these nickel and dime plays, getting these first downs. They're saying, we're not going to change our game plan. We're going to force you to change yours.
Pretty wide here for the Trident as they go to the ground game now. Up for a gain of 3. And well, it's another good story here for Washington, dominating in terms of third down conversions.
Yeah, this is a team that does all right with third down conversions. Not, super high, not super low, but they get the job done at 57.14% heading into this game.
Well, Cooper, the man in motion to the slot far side. 4-3 look out of Houston, trying to clog up the middle with the extra linebackers. Peace gets a hand to Kaufman, but he sneaks away for a couple more yards.
And again, Washington just fine getting into this 3rd and 5 scenario, and they're saying again to Houston, see if you can beat us again. We're confident with our third down plays.
3rd and medium has been Washington's bread and butter, able to really get to the Houston defense. They've sent Peace on a couple blitzes, opened up the middle of the zone. Now they've dropped back in coverage. Utah going to have to try and pick them apart. Looking middle. Oh my goodness, Phil Koss! Utah with a brilliant pass. That's our nice hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. What a Retroid handheld, like Utah put that pass into Koss in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K23. Such a pretty pass.
Tyler, you mentioned how Washington is, dominating these third medium situations. Their bread and butter, as you can say. How about a throw to the bread basket of Phil Koss?
Now back to the run, and they'll say maybe a yard is Peace with the tackle. And for the first time tonight, we go back to SFL headquarters for a game break from Cam and Irvine.
Thank you, Tyler. Oklahoma City at Los Angeles tonight, and Los Angeles is in cruise control. Darius Aniga is in the end zone. The Lycans lead 20-3 late in the 3rd. Back to you.
Thank you, Cam. The upstart OKC Renegades, well, they need a little bit more life if they were to rekindle any spark from when they were first in the league, back all the way in the beginning of this league's history. And we hit the 4th quarter, and so it is with much sourness we say, put your 12s, 86s, 68s, 93s, and now 29s up in chat. 4th quarter coming your way. Fourth quarter begins with a Tommy Utah pass over the middle, and he overshoots everybody. Incomplete for 4th down. Washington will have to settle for a field goal.
And I think Houston will take that because it still makes it a 10-point game, still 2 possessions. But Washington's defense has really shut down a lot of aspects of, Houston's bread and butter, if we're going to go to that analogy again, of that run game. They're forcing him to pass. So, another 34-yarder from James Troll here.
The right hash, he's been money tonight, and that's his 3rd field goal of the game, up and good. Washington again will push it out to 10 points between these two teams. You're watching the Simulation Football League here on the Virtual Football Network, the official network of SFLM, SFL, UFL, and so much more coming soon. The Virtual Football Network, where all the best virtual football lives, and where the first downs and third down conversions for Houston and Washington are roughly equal.
And right now it's all about Houston, not just getting those first downs, but now you're in the 4th quarter. there might be less desperation than you would if you're down, say 17 or 20 up at this rate, but eventually you need to start being more aggressive out in the field. Are we going to see that on this drive from Houston? Is this going to be a pass play on first down?
They have the wind with them. So if they have to march down, they can settle for maybe a longer field goal than normal as Slap gets the call, gains 4.
Not a bad start, but sooner rather than later, you kind of want to start eliminating those first down run plays. See if Washington is ready for, getting ready to defend the pass immediately.
It also depends on how much this Houston coaching staff trusts their defense. St. Green on a drag. He picks up a couple more yards.
Well, right now they're trusting him to bend but don't break, and we've seen that so far. Washington could be, have 40 points under their belt if they wanted to, but right now Houston has just kind of pushed them back just enough to make it a 10-point deficit.
9 defenders in the box against this 2 tight end, 2 back set here for Houston. Lakeman will look to throw against a blitz, flip out near side, good stiff arm, and he gets the first down and then out of bounds. Teranio Rivera's first touch of the game goes for a first down.
Yeah, a little bit unorthodox, not normally seen in the Houston playbook, is the fullback dump pass, and Rivera doing great work getting his hand out, using his unsuspecting strength, it feels like sometimes, to push his defender and get that first down.
Lakeman will throw against a 4-man rush, flip out left side, out of a tackle, still looking for more, out of another one and down the sideline to about the 31-yard line. CJ Parrish with some excellent moves.
Feed that young boy, Damon Simeon. Give him more touches of the football. Only a second catch of the game and an explosive play to get down the field, flip the field to enemy territory, get yourself into great position with 8 minutes left to go in this game.
25 yards from CJ Parrish puts him on the outside of field goal range. High formation, Lakeman gonna throw again, flip out left side, Rivera again, this time gaining 2 yards.
And Rivera wanted to truck a man down instead of using the stiff arm, and that might have been maybe a little bit ill-advised. He should have stuck with the stiff arm, maybe would have gained a couple extra yards, but nonetheless, those swing passes, Washington's got to be careful with those.
4 receivers out there in the package. There for Lakeman, gonna look to throw again, looking middle, caught Corky somehow. First down.
Man, they're letting that hot hand heat up in Lakeman. He is just connecting on all cylinders right now. I believe that now that makes him 16 of 21 in this game, and he has been electric in this drive so far. Another picture-perfect pass, this time to Corky. They are more in field goal range, and I believe they're in the red zone.
Questions will have to be asked about Albert Begin there, who's just standing there as the ball floated above his head, looking all end zone, and it's swatted away. Incomplete. Willie Bands knocks that one to the turf.
A big credit to Lakeman trying to find Parrish, but he overthrew his man by a good 2 to 3 yards. That's where that composure needs to set in for Lakeman and just maybe settle down for, a progression or two, then sling the rock.
4-man rush again, Lakeman middle, and it's incomplete, and Corky was taken out of the picture after the ball was knocked away. Nothing he could do about it.
There's only so many picture-perfect passes you can make, and I don't know, passing into a sea of red was a great idea. How many defenders was that? 4 or 5 defenders just around that one receiver alone.
Something obscene, but here's 5 wide for Lakeman. Gonna really test this secondary. This young secondary in some ways. A lot of fresh faces in this secondary. Can they combine? Pass. Corky nearly had a spectacular. Couldn't haul it in. Bands in on coverage. 4th down.
Man, and I don't know if Corky should have went with the flashy option with probably the one-handed catch. I think he should just stretched his left arm out along with that outstretched right arm. It just didn't work out, and now Houston is going to have to settle for a field goal. It's not too bad with 7 minutes to go, but they wanted to get 6 out of this drive.
The what ifs continue to pile up. Here's another field goal to knock it back to within 7 again. Kick is up and good. 23-16. Now the score line here from Washington.
That was too close to call for Sonny J. Definitely was saving his breath for a little bit, because that was definitely looking to veer outside that right upright.
We've had 4 drives this quarter, all of them ending in scores. 3 field goals, 1 touchdown, as Koss takes that one down for a touchback. Join Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green for another edition of SFL This Week at 7:15 p.m. Eastern, before the Arizona Scorpions get their shot in primetime against New West rivals Sin City. On this week's Monday Night Spectacular, kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Virtual Football Network. Utah in trouble immediately, but Koss hauls it in before getting hit.
And one thing we've seen all game with this Houston defense is the pressure applied to Tommy Utah, and Utah has been composed all well throughout. And kudos to Robert Thump and company giving the keys to Utah. 18 of 32 now.
And for 300 yards, no less. Well, here's something we don't see every day. Big ol' 69, D'Angelo DeJesus lined a center, playing tight end, and he'll be trying to block for Mihata out there, who catches another one and moves the chains.
Man, that was some creative work by that Washington offensive coordinator. I think that was something Robert Thump has been wanting to see over the last couple of games, but hasn't, had the opportunity to. And man, what a great opportunity, because he got that center to help block with Mihata, potentially have him become more of like a red herring, so that there's more of an open opportunity.
Run through the middle, Dean, and chugging his way forward for 7 yards, fighting off 2 defenders.
Yeah, and this is what Washington wants out of those running backs, especially in this stage of the game. They like it close. All their games have been close so far, and this is how they've won those games. When it's close and they're up, they just run the bejesus out of you.
Heavy look, 3 tight ends now here on the line. Eligible receiver again is the center, D'Angelo DeJesus. Handoff middle, Kaufman trying to find his way, but Garrett Evans is there, slinging him back, losing a couple.
Yeah, but now we're in Washington's favorite situation. And I think we've seen this about 5 or 6 times, Tyler. Look at what it says, 3rd and 5.
10 of 16 already tonight. On just 3rd downs alone, let alone distance. Blitz coming, 4-man rush. Utah with time, with plenty of time. Koss coming on the run, all the way down to the 5.
And for a tight end that has been as quiet as a mouse all season, to explode like he has tonight, Phil Koss returning back to what feels like season 18 form, and going back to how he became that dominant tight end for that St. Louis / Motor City / Washington franchise. This is a trip back to the past, Tyler.
How can they punch it in? What a sight for sore eyes for this Washington franchise. Handoff, Kaufman through the middle. Peace and company knock him down. 339 passing yards tonight for Tommy Utah. That is a career high in the last 4 seasons.
And this guy spent a lot of time in Louisiana, which was a very run-happy organization. So now he's starting to spread his wings, spread his trident, I guess you could say, to get his targets. And man, what a night to do it against too, against a Houston team that is probably the strongest it's ever been in this 4K23 era.
And off, Dean, wide open hole, touchdown, Washington Trident, easy as you like, excellent blocking, and the Trident extend their lead out to 13.
Now, Tyler, I talked about composure throughout this entire game, and Washington has stayed composed in every situation in this game. When Houston brought it down to 3 points, when Washington looked like they weren't pushing down the field enough They break through finally, and with 4 minutes to go, Tyler, is this 14-point lead gonna be enough for the Trident?
That 54-yard reception from Phil Koss took up more than half the yards on the drive. It ends with a Dean touchdown, and now Houston have their work cut out for them. There comes the return now from Corky. One of the most electric runners that Houston has seen in quite some time, but he only gets up to the 29-yard line, and Washington's been able to run roughshod over Houston tonight here, Brett. And now we're looking back again. The missed turnovers, the missed touchdowns. It all comes down to this. If they want to keep their unbeaten, or if they want to keep their if they want to keep dominance over Washington, they haven't lost to this team yet.
Yeah, and Tyler, with these missed opportunities, we're talking potentially a 28-point swing, which we would have had Houston comfortably in the lead at this point. But now they're down 14. I'm looking at DR Simmons saying, hey, you're a wide receiver now.
Pass, ooh, a nice little move. The gain for a couple yards. That's Derek Doris. Backup wide receiver. 4 wide receivers here for Houston. Another pass left side. This time it's Corky. Another quick out route that moves the chains, and back to the line they go. Nice and efficient start to the drive. Go, looking to throw again, looking deep down the near sideline on the numbers. Couldn't find his intended target. Incomplete.
It's always the risk when you're going in a hurry up and every play is a pass, is you're going to have defenders, in the right place. This time Mark Kaufman with his hands up just about gets the interception. And surprisingly enough, Tyler, this is the same formation that they were in the hurry up in, so they haven't changed much.
St. Green in motion to the slot on the right. Time look out of Washington. Lakeman to throw, looking middle, bobbled
again
by a middle linebacker, but this time Mark Kaufman playing middle linebacker, the corner being an adjunct T linebacker, and he's got a little bit more catching. Dangerous throw from Lakeman.
A tale of two efficiencies out of this game, Tyler. 4 of 10 for Houston. They need to get this third down.
Punch near side. Lakeman's got to get it done through the air. Heaves it over the middle, almost intercepted by Albert Begin. It's 4th and 10, and you think you got to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the ultra aggressive mentality coach. I'd be going for it. Wouldn't be too shocked if they decide to punt, but Lakeman's still out there. They have the confidence in him to make a completion to get that first down. This is the ball game, Tyler.
From their own 41-yard line, they have to get into Washington territory for a first down. 4-man rush. Lakeman, and he almost had him, but he gets it picked off all the way down to the 45-yard line. A brilliant pick which could seal the game from Maxwell Quimby.
Man, that's just right placement. I think Lakeman just underthrew his man. Just an unfortunate situation if you're Houston, but Washington had all their areas covered and covered well. Quimby was just waiting for that ball to be thrown his side, and he's done this in key clutch moments. I'd be talking about Mr. Clutch being Mr. Maxwell Quimby.
The 4th overall pick in the last SFL draft comes away with his first SFL INT. Congratulations, rookie. Welcome to the SFL. His offense is on the field, and Dean gets 2 yards.
I wonder if he's going to keep that football and put it on his, maybe on his fireplace stand, maybe on his nightstand, so that he wakes up to it every morning.
Well, I mean, that's just the start of something more. I mean, do players keep their first and last interception balls as like a tale of how their career progressed, or is it just the one that they keep there, Brett?
I mean, I got my first touchdown ball back in season 9. It's just hanging over right by my TV stand.
How worn out is that thing?
I hardly touched it.
Okay, sounds good. 2nd and 8, heavy blitz coming from Houston, and they're not going to go down without a fight. And the man who came with the tackle, Chris Britton, is going to exit this football game after that hit.
Man, that just means Jason Peace has to put another hat on and say to himself, I'm going to play as 2 guys, even though he pretty much has been playing like two guys here tonight. And even though Britton has done fantastic work, that might be it for the rest of the game for him.
He has been the linebacking core. Evans has done his part. Britton as well, but now in comes Blake B. Craze as well to try and add some solidity. He was a star in his days with Louisiana, and there's a good stop by Incognito. That brings up 4th and 3 outside of field goal range, so you never know.
Yeah, they've got a chance, but I think Washington's going to carry this all the way to the 2-minute warning, considering the time left on the game clock.
Washington will let this run all the way down to the 2-minute warning. They lead Houston 30-16. We come back to the conclusion of the Sunday night slate in week 5 of the SFL. Two minutes to play here in regulation. Tyler Falk and Brett Solberg here on the call. Thanks to Eddie Gage and Josh Dewar in the stats truck and Cameron Irvine back at SFL headquarters. And you get a flag out of the 2-minute warning. And it's going to be encroachment.
Wow.
Encroachment, and it's a first down for Washington.
Forget that. Oh, my goodness. What a terrible, I'm sorry, this is going to sound disrespectful, but what a terrible time to encroach. I am so sorry. That is not a moment where you just go and pass the line and hit a defender.
Wow. Mind lapses, inconsistency, miscues are just some of the words you could describe Houston's performance tonight.
Look, Tyler, I think encroachment in this league happens once every, 300 games it feels like? You never see that happen. That's crazy.
Second down for Washington as they look to just salt this one away. Dean, maybe another half yard. Second timeout called by Houston. And my goodness, Houston came into this one. We knew it was going to be a good game. For all intents and purposes, it was a good game. But Washington, they're living up to the hype right now. They're going to go to 4-0 unless something miraculous happens. As Utah hands it off to Dean, so we won't see them try and throw for it. But they do get into field goal range. A field goal makes it a 3-possession game. And more than likely, that will be it.
And that's tough too, because you put that encroachment in, puts it in field goal range, get a couple extra yards. Troll's already hit from 50 yards. So this seems like guarantee, and this is straight down the middle of the hash marks as well.
It is up and it is straight down the pipe. 33-16. Washington gonna remain unbeaten here in the season and put a second loss in the loss column of the Headhunters.
This minute 42 stays how it is. We're going to be down to just 2 undefeated teams, and that'll be the Washington Trident. And who's that second team, Tyler?
Oh, the Vancouver Legion. And so that week 7 game between Vancouver and Washington looms large on the horizon as Mike St. Green gets it all the way to the 15-yard line. That is going to, if Vancouver can play well against LA next week or in 2 weeks' time, oh my goodness. My goodness, this will be a good game.
Yeah, and Washington, they're going to have a bye week coming up as well, so they're going to have plenty of time to study Vancouver too. So that's going to set up for something to watch. We might have, record viewership on a week 7.
Lakeman looking near side, incomplete. Coming across was CJ Parrish.
And Houston is just in pass now mode. They're saying, Lakeman, here's the keys to our car. Drive us as far as you can.
Meanwhile, over in LA, the Lycans get a win over Oklahoma City. Game long been over, 26-3, the final score there. As Houston are now in pass now mode. 5 wide receivers. Lakeman in the pocket, firing near side. Mike St. Green, good little spin inside the 45-yard line, down to the 42. Back to the line they come. Fourth catch of the game for Mike St. Green for 51 yards. They have no timeouts. Lakeman left side. It's tipped and looking for Parrish. Incomplete. Quimby nearly had his second pick.
And you talk about players that have been really quiet tonight. Mike St. Green's been one of them. Aside from that catch there, a lot of short receptions, not a lot of gainage from him. It's been mostly Corky and a little bit of CJ Parrish in there as well. But St. Green has basically been limited in this matchup.
How about this as well? Daisy P, she has no receptions from the tight end spot. Mike Daggs won't be happy. Pass Lakeman, looking, go St. Green. Oh, he's trying to send some highlights back to his film room to watch on repeat, but he's not going to be watching that one anytime soon.
And going back to Daisy Peace, that was someone that Damon Simeon wanted to target more because she only has, again, I said earlier, only 5 receptions coming into this game. And Washington has shut down any tight end play tonight.
Bunch near side. Lakeman rolling, and he will have a grass stain on him. Taken down by Rodney Panani, and it's 4th down.
Man, it took its time, but Washington finally gets a cleanup on Isle Lakeman as they finally get to him too. I mean, both these offensive lines have done just enough to keep their quarterbacks relatively clean. It was just a matter of time for Washington to get theirs too.
Rolling, Lakeman on 4th down, has to get it all caught. No, Mike St. Green couldn't catch it. Ball falls incomplete, fans in on coverage. Washington will take over.
And 46 seconds left. Tyler, it's going to be your favorite formation in the entire world. This is a great breakup from Willie Bands. And again, looking for St. Green one more time, but I think he was just too cold tonight to get that catch. I think the right target should have been for Corky.
Or at least it'll be the favorite formation for Washington here tonight. If you're a Houston fan, you didn't want to see this. Utah takes one knee. It'll be one more kneel down before Washington move to 4-0. Houston to 3-2. And lucky for Houston, Brett, they don't lose ground on Mexico City, who also lost again this week.
And they don't lose ground on anyone in the South because Bossier City lost as well to make them 3-1. The only team I think that won this in the South was Fort Worth, who were in the bottom and get themselves to 2-2.
So that South Division continuing to tighten up as we always expected to. Final kneel down of the ball game from Tommy Utah, and the clock will be left to run. The Trident 33, the Headhunters 16, and Washington move to 4-0 and remain unbeaten here after week 5.
Man, what a perfectly laid out game plan by Robert Thump and the Washington coaching staff. They found themselves, changing kind of the game plan that they had. They, instead of, worrying about running that football all that much, they passed, and they passed a lot. They gave Tommy Utah the keys to the machine, and did he ever perform? 20 of 34, 339, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, and got good support from the running back crew, especially Christopher Dean, who had himself another great game, unofficially 70 yards and a touchdown. That's all you can ask for with running backs. Houston just couldn't get past second gear in terms of offense, and that's what made them suffer a little bit, because they just couldn't get that extra little bit of motion to push themselves through, and Washington just takes advantage of that, gets themselves to 4-0, and maintains pace with Vancouver in the West.
Stay tuned for the Monday Night Spectacular and the SFL this week coming up tomorrow. We hope to see you then, and there will be no traditional sign-off tonight. This is all, this call goes out to Ibari Ahmed England and his family, number 29 of Carolina, taken from us way too soon. For all of us here at the SFL, we are saying goodnight, so long. Rest in peace, number 29, BNG.